new here to the video, and I hope you enjoy. Well, this is a special one, guys. Today we're taking a look at the 2023 Acura MDX Type S. This is Acura's top-of-the-line 3-row performance SUV. This competes with the likes of the Germans, Genesis, Lexus, all the luxury brands. But this gives you a lot of value for what you're getting. This starts around $67,000 and optioned out to $72,000 on this advanced package. Includes heated steering wheel, actual massaging seats down here for front driver and passenger, ELS premium 3D audio, very good, heads-up display, rear heated seats for the back too. This is about $20,000 cheaper than equivalent X5 or GLE. Now, they may be faster, they may handle at the limit better, but I think this is one of the best featured out SUVs you can get at this price range while having some edge and performance to it. So we'll take a walk around. I did the night drive already. You'll see that after this comes out. Talk about the tech, talk about this MDX, and is this the ultimate family hauler daily driver with some edge? So let's take a little walk around. First, let's hear that 3-liter V6 turbocharged. Nice. This is an excellent looking interior. So, the MDX Type S, what does it get versus the standard MDX? That 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque, 3-liter turbocharged V6, unlike the 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6. You get these beautiful 21-inch wheels, Brembo brakes in the front and rear, Acura logo on them. These are gorgeous wheels. Type S badging on the front, on the sides. You get air suspension. This car can lower itself in sport mode for dynamic driving purposes, about 1/2 inch, Type S in the rear, and about 2 inches in lift mode. I'll show you that. 4 exhaust tips that look absolutely excellent. This car is angry with these tips despite being a family hauler. I love this black on black interior with the red stitching. These seats are, we'll get to those in the interior, but they are immaculate. Alright, let's check out the trunk. Thank you to CarMax or King of Prussia for letting me test drive this car. So with the seats folded down, you have a pretty competitive amount of cargo space and lots of good mechanical and electronic control for getting the second rows down and the third row up, which is very useful. Power ports in the back, some storage under here. I don't know if there's room for a spare tire. Very easy to pull these up. And then nice and easy to put down. Power tailgate. A little slow. Oops, my neighbor sees me. Check out the back seat. So a decent amount of rear seat room, like this ambient lighting switch that changes with the drive mode. Check that out. Oop. Independent climate control, 3 levels of heated seats in the rear. You can control that from the front as well and lock it out in case your children want to be obnoxious with it. A full NEMA plug. Sorry, I'm wrong about that. Power outlets in the rear. USB charging, very nice. Sun visors right here. Very nice use of materials like this wood grain. And then you can fold down this middle seat. Get your cup holder, some storage. This release right here. And you can also fully remove this seat and get some captain's chairs. I love this red stitching in the back. You got this leather here, soft touch up here. This wood is so nice. This would be a great place to be. You get a full panoramic sunroof, the sunshade. So, makes it very nice and airy and light in here. Let's check out those rear seats. Electronic release. You can check out the back. At 5'10", I'm a little bit cramped back here. Material choice isn't the best back here, plastic, but it gets the job done. And I do like this release to get the seat forward when you're trying to get to the back and get out as well. So pretty nice. Type S badging right here. So I put this up alongside Nicole's car, and it is a little bit beefier, but not as long. And that's because Acura does transverse engines where that V6 is sitting like this. This car weighs 4,700 pounds. You would not know it, but it has a presence on the road with these wheels and this black. It looks very stealth. I like the badging. It's subtle. It's not too sleeper, but it's not too boring. A big blacked out Predator grille, the Acura logo. So exclusive for the Type S, I was saying, this wood trim. I like this black and red stitching that we talked about. Lots of physical controls in here to control almost every setting. Adaptive cruise control. You even get a quick access button to some of your safety systems over here on the left, alongside traction control. You can disable your parking sensors. You can even adjust the HUD, which is pretty nice. You can see up there. The HUD displays navigation, miles per hour, even from CarPlay, wireless CarPlay as well. Lots of climate controls, fan speed, temperature, all that good stuff. Ventilated seats, heated seats, an auto setting, and a full massage function. If you hold it, you get all these options for different massages. Crazy. And you can even adjust the sensitivity right there. Now there's some piano black in the center around the drive selector. The auto brake hold, auto start stop. This pop out USB controller. And then Acura's touchpad for their infotainment. As somebody who's used to tech, it took me a little bit to get used to, but I was able to get to everywhere I need to go. Apple CarPlay is a little bit tougher to navigate through. I do like this swiping sound to get around menus. Lots of customization. Driving position, you can set the suspension for when you're parked, and also leveling it for towing. I'd have to put on the screen what the towing capacity is, but it's not too bad. You also get this, using the touchpad, it's not too bad using it. You also get this constant cards menu over here to show Apple CarPlay or navigation and what your audio is playing. Wireless charging down here. I had trouble getting my phone to work. It has to be like perfectly centered, and I don't know if that actually went. It did not. Oh, I got a warning. So it is a little finicky. Lots of cup holder storage, extra storage up here for maybe another phone or a wallet. Here's the Acura key. I like the Type S badging you saw on that Integra. Very similar, but no start stop. Very nice. I like that red too. It's cup holder. Pretty good amount of storage, power outlets. Lots of power outlets in here. These seats are excellent. Lots of adjustment. You can practically squeeze your guts with the lumbar adjustment. Lots of range adjustability with the power function. Infotainment controls on the left side of the steering wheel. Feels good. Type S badging down there. Lots of physical controls. Same quality material up here as in the rear, which is very nice. You get a power tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then you get this fully digital gauge cluster. Lots of information on the side. Trip computer, I've been averaging about 20 MPG. This trip is a little low right now because we just been idling. So get 17 MPG in the city, 21 on the highway. I could probably get about 25 on the highway. Not the most fuel efficient in its class. Kind of reminds me the Kia Stinger and the Genesis vehicles with their 3-liter V6s. You're paying for a little bit more value at the pump, so to speak, by you're paying for more value in the car. You're paying a little bit more at the pump. I think the trade-off might be worth it for some reliability, at least in the predicted category. Before we go, let's check out that engine. Find the freaking release. So I said 355 horsepower, 354 pound-feet of torque, made to a 10-speed, beefed up Acura automatic transmission for Type S applications. Sitting pretty much in front of that front axle. It's connected to Acura's super handling all-wheel drive system that torque vectors about 70% of the available torque to the rear, and then 100% of that torque to either rear wheel. Makes this car very nimble, combined with the adaptive suspension and the air springs. This car is very good for its size, putting down the power and not feeling like an absolute boat. But then, just like that Integra, has such a width of adjustability that it's so comfortable on the highway. So let's take it out for a drive. Enough talking. You do get a lot of safety systems like blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, all the good stuff that you would need, adaptive cruise control, lane centering. But enough of that. Let's take this on a drive. So you do get this push button gear selector. Not my favorite, but you get used to it. Dynamic mode, comfort. Actually, let's see what lift looks like. Whew, that gets up there pretty high. Wow, pretty tall. It's cool. Air suspension's cool. Pricey to replace, but very cool. All right. Ooh. Throw it back into. We'll start in comfort or normal. So I was able to drive this home from King of Prussia, and I'm impressed by Acura's suspension, tuning, and all-wheel drive system. The ability to balance torque vectoring, power distribution, but also comfort and steering feel and feedback from the road, I think it's very good. It's not, you know, a lot of it's electronic. There's a lot of systems going on, but it's just blended so nicely. You can easily daily drive this car. But also enjoy it as a family hauler and on the weekends as your sport drive. The steering wheel feels good in the hands. There's like some bump outs on the side to kind of like cup your fingers in. Very nice. Quality is great. These paddle shifters are nice. They're, you know, plasticky, but they look better than the dinky little ones on the, you know, the Audi S4 and 5 and SQ5, so. And the SQ7 that we had earlier this year. Also on the side, there's this awesome little camera button that shows at low speeds, you can pull up your front camera, your sides for your wheels, and put it away with the press of a button. Very helpful for parking situations. It's your SH all-wheel drive. It is a front bias system, but is able to send the torque when you need it to the rear. Provides the extra confidence when you need, throw it into normal, and some sporty handling when you want it. This chassis has been refined and improved upon for years now. I think the MDX was refreshed in 22, but the platform has just, you know, has been around, I think, since like 2010s maybe. And you feel a sense of connectedness and uniformity, I guess would be the best term. Now, while driving, it is a little tough to navigate. Like if I want to go over here to Apple CarPlay and, you know, pick some music, it's not the best system. I think, like Lexus, I'd rather just have a touchscreen, but alas, you don't. But the screen is in a good position. I think it's well integrated, even though it does look stuck on. I think it just looks better than most. I'll give it a little beans. Just in normal sport, regular transmission. A little bit of turbo lag, but found the right gear. Turbo spooled up, and it was off. You could definitely feel the power upgrades this has, and also the changes that each different drive mode, hello dear, does. You can see the torque being sent to that back right wheel and that curve. It's just so nimble. And the things SH all-wheel drive can do to any of these cars to make them feel lighter than they are is kind of scary. Throttle response is more aggressive. You do hear some extra engine noises, would be the best way to put it, in sport mode. Steering weights up. Not a ton of acceleration in the steering. It kind of just, it feels pretty numb, but you get good feedback from what the car is doing. Throw into S transmission mode. Take this corner. Oh, a car of this size should not be able to move like that. There's just no loss of power around a corner. It's nice. Engine's a little muted. I've driven the TLX Type S before. And the upshifts aren't as aggressive as I would prefer, I guess. Throw into Sport S Plus around this corner. but I think it has enough gruff and grunt for what this car is meant to be. My SH all-wheel drive screen went away. You do get paddles. They're a little bit sluggish and lazy. I would just leave this in automatic. Let the transmission do the work. And then we could settle down into comfort and just watch as the sweat and the anxiety of driving a 4,700-pound car at the limit blend away, and you could just cruise. Turn on my massage. Let's do a wake. I have no idea what that does. It's actual ball elements that do the massage. It's not bladders, and I think that's kind of crazy because none of the Audis I've drove have had that optioned out. Oh, hang on, now I'm gonna get myself worked up. Gotta do the corners. The BMW X5 with the B58 is faster, but you can't get all these luxury features for anywhere close to 72 grand. And that's on a 3-row either. The 3-row is usable in this car. The X5 M60i, M50i, whatever they're calling it these days, is way more expensive, and that's when you can get like massaging functions. Granted, it's faster and, you know, V8s and stuff. The Lexus RX 500h, while probably would be significantly more efficient, is just a little 4-popper hybrid system, so it's kind of a different way of doing performance. Make it right. Volvo XC90 would be faster, but again, kind of a hybrid system and has a good amount of elegance. Could get up there in price. I think closer to 80 is where the recharge can end up, but just absolutely gorgeous cabin with luxury amenities. Oh man, that's nice. I've really enjoyed my time with this car. It's different than something I would like, but it's pretty fun. You don't feel the penalty of driving an SUV as much when you're driving this Acura. Getting onto the highway is extremely easy. You throw it into comfort, and at 70+ miles an hour, this baby cruises. Average MPG I've been seeing in this car is 18.5. I think that's pretty realistic. You could probably get that up closer to 20 with more highway commuting. Check out this adaptive cruise control system. Set to 75. Steering is nice. Car can handle the curves, no problem. I like this visualization of the car in front of me. This guy's getting off the highway. Let's see how it overtakes him. A little hesitation. It really waited until he was out of the lane and stuff. But it's doing these curves well. It'll probably prompt me pretty often to put my hand on the wheel. Huh. There it is. I was wondering where that was. But extremely comfortable on these 21-inch wheels. The air springs, the suspension tuning does wonders to make this car float down the highway. And you've got this excellent sound system. Massage all the amenities you need to munch the miles in this car. So, what do I think of the MDX Type S? Well, this is kind of a personal drive, as well as just a drive for you guys, but I really like this car and I wanted to see what it was like, how it handled, how it performed, how it drove, and I'm impressed. It's a car I would strongly and strongly considering as well, and I know it's ridiculous to want a 3-row, but everyone cross shops different cars, V8s, coupes, hybrids, performance cars, whatever. Just one of the cars on my list I wanted to see, and Acura has delivered. Value, performance, efficiency is probably the only thing that's lacking, but tech and features and amenities for the price of around $72, it's a hard pill to swallow, but I think it's worth it. But also, I think the biggest competitor to the MDX is actually just the standard MDX. If you could do without the extra power and this air suspension and some of the higher end luxury features, I'd be curious if they can get massaging on those. But the MDX, this Type S proves how good the normal MDX A-spec with technology, top trim, whatever that may be, is. So kudos to Acura, very well done. I would really think about this in the back of my mind if I ever got an X5 M50i with a V8, because this car does a lot of what I need. What I've talked about is that a car needs to get you from A to B, and that's what you're, once the fun wears off of ripping it on the V8, ripping around the corners in this, you know, you're going to be stuck with the car. And I think this has excellent ride compared to the normal X5 I drove recently with the M Sport package. So, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope everyone gives it a like and subscribes and continues to support this channel. I do enjoy these reviews and I do enjoy the feedback from everyone. Let me know what you personally would drive. Would you drive an MDX Type S, or would you go up or down market, you know, to like or you know, up market to the Germans, or down to, like, let's say oh my god, I can't even speak. Hope everyone enjoyed. Give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for all the support.